AI is going to be the thing that manages capital and money in the future. It's not really today, but that's what's coming. And AI will not manage money on traditional financial rails.
What's up, everybody? It's LG Doucette here, and welcome to Milk Road AI, the twice-weekly AI show where we try to figure out if AI is going to take your job or just make your boss way more annoying. Today is March 18th, 2026, and we've got some very special news for you today on the show. For a long time, our listeners and readers have been begging us to tell them exactly what we're investing in, and now we've made that happen. And you can see it all for just $1. I'm serious. We're going to get a look today at Kyle's actual portfolio, which AI stocks he holds, why he's holding them, why he doesn't hold certain other ones, and also what he's still holding in crypto and how that relates back to the AI crypto thesis. We're going to walk through every single asset in his portfolio because that is the new product. You can see his and all our other analyst portfolios and their strategies, all part of the new upgraded Milk Road Pro, and all of that is just $1 for 14 days. Okay, so this is like a preview of the product. You're getting a freebie here just on the episode, seeing Kyle's show. But if you want to see all of it, the entire new product, which I think is honestly really awesome. It's a really great approach to our platform. All that's just $1 for the next 14 days. Today's episode is brought to you by Shareland. Trade real estate like stocks, and Nexo. Earn interest, borrow, and trade crypto. Kyle, we're back, and this is a reveal all episode.
It's a big one. I feel naked, but it's going to be a big
one. How many people would you say in your real life know what is in your portfolio?
Only Milk Road Pro members, because I've told them many times over the years.
Okay, so we're going to do this. Are you ready? We're going to do the big reveal of what is in Kyle's portfolio. And if you guys want to see this for real, you have to be a Milk Road Pro member. Okay, you have to go into Milk Road Pro if you want to look at this yourself, because there's way more to it than just the stocks and the numbers. But that's what we're going to look at today.
Yeah. And so just so you guys know, this is a change we've made to Milk Road Pro. We used to do a sort of joint portfolio that everyone could track and follow. And now all the analysts that work at Milk Road all show their exact portfolio and do live trades, live updates right in this platform. So if you're Milk Road Pro, you can literally watch what we're buying and selling on a daily basis. Not that we're trading daily, but what we're going to show you is literally exactly what I'm holding. It is a simulation, so it's not the exact valuation, right? But anytime we make a move, you're going to see it. And you can see it across 5 of our analysts. So you're going to want to check that out. But let's go through it.
3, 2, 1. Here it is. Oh, it's Kyle's portfolio. And just gonna shout out our design team, our product team, for this beautiful display with your face right there and all your colorful holdings. But let's go through it, Kyle. And there are some AI things in here. There are some crypto things. As you guys know, Kyle has a broad thesis and all that different stuff, a lot of different opinions. But Kyle, tell us what you got in here.
Yeah, interesting. If you look at on the right, you can see the open P&L and the crypto stuff is outperforming, but that's because we launched this just a few weeks ago. So it was crypto's had a jump since then. I don't know if that'll happen long term, but my 2 biggest holdings are Tesla and Coinbase. When I actually launched this portfolio a couple weeks ago, Tesla was the biggest. Coin's just had a pretty good run over the last couple weeks here. Tesla is, we've talked about a bunch in the show. Why do I hold Tesla? Why is it my biggest holding? I think Tesla is going to become the best, or is already becoming the best use case for AI. They're putting AI into cars. They're going to put AI into humans. They're also starting to control the grid and the energy. I also think Tesla's probably going to merge with SpaceX, and XAI. So then they're going to own the space industry. So it's, in my opinion, the most innovative, most exciting company in the world. I know its earnings and that don't reflect it just yet, but I think it's building for something way bigger than any other company. I think it'll be the first company to, I don't know about first company to go to 10 trillion, but it will be a $10 trillion company, but definitely the first company to go beyond that. And I think it will be the biggest company in the world for many different reasons. So that's why it's been my biggest holding. The other one is Coinbase. The reason why Coinbase is so exciting to me is I think the entire financial world is moving on chain. And the reason that the entire financial world is moving on chain is because money is more efficient and value is more efficient on chain. It can move globally with no costs. It can move at the speed of light, kind of like how the internet allowed information to move at the speed of light. And then also when you tie AI onto it, AI is going to be the thing that manages capital and money in the future. It's not really today, but that's what's coming. And AI will not manage money on traditional financial rails. It'll only manage money on blockchain rails because, again, AI is automation. It moves at the speed of light. It can't use TradFi rails that it takes 7 days to settle when you move something from Canada to Europe, right? It just makes no sense in this day and age. AI will never touch that. And so it will use money and value and funds and things that exist on blockchains. Coinbase is one of the leaders of this. So anything that's happening in the crypto world, Coinbase really is leading the charge there. They are onboarding all the institutions. They are becoming the new sort of like software layer, infrastructure layer for finance, for institutions. They're tokenizing basically every asset, putting it on chain. They're also a leader in stablecoins, which I think we're really well aware that agents will be using stablecoins, not cash, AI agents, I mean, and Coinbase is really the leader in that. So the success you've seen in Circle, for anyone that's seen, they've been one of the best companies in the world right now in terms of performance over the last 30 days. Coin basically owns a lot of that and also runs a lot of their supply. So Coin is kind of huge on the stablecoin front as well. So I think it's really taking over the finance world. It's going to be one of the best performers in finance.
Get the biggest AI moves and what they actually mean for investors twice a week straight to your inbox. The link is in the description. Why wouldn't you have Circle in here, Kyle? If you on this thesis of all the agents using stablecoins and they're kind of like the leader and they've gone off in the last month too. That stock is up big after big earnings.
So I of course regret that I never bought Circle. I was eyeing it up and talking about it a bunch like a month ago, 2 months ago when it kind of bled out. I never bought it previously because it got just so overpriced during the IPO. Then it bled out a lot, and I was like, okay, at some point this is going to get interesting. The issue with Circle is it is the only stablecoin in town in the US, so that's the good thing. The issue is it has one revenue stream. That one revenue stream is that it puts the dollars that are backing stablecoins into treasuries, and it just earns from that. So as rates go down, it makes less money, and it has no way to diversify. Whereas Coinbase, for all of the USDC that Coinbase deploys on Circle's behalf, which is like more than 50% of it, or not more than 50%, but it's a large sum of it, it makes that revenue. So Circle just pays Coinbase that, all of it. And yet Coinbase doesn't have to run any of that infrastructure and do any of that. So it's got a really sweet deal. And Coinbase has like 9 other revenue streams, all making like over $100 million plus, right? So it benefits from, when risk on happens, it benefits from that because it has trading volumes, right? When stablecoins are a big deal and interest rates go up, it benefits from that. So it's like it kind of has a bunch of different revenue streams. It's more diversified. It's got its hands in everything. Whereas Circle's like a one trick pony. And that's not the greatest trick, to be completely honest. So they're trying to diversify. They just haven't been able to do it yet. So Coinbase, Tesla are my two biggest assets.
Awesome. And then you've got right after that, and maybe you can see the allocation here that Bitcoin is just over 10%, but maybe that's changed since you added it to the portfolio, because it seems like maybe you allocated it almost similarly perhaps to NVIDIA and Apple, which were also pretty big ads, and also on the AI side.
So my next three there, you see Bitcoin, NVIDIA, and Apple. The way you can think about them is these are scarce assets. They are like physical assets. Now, Bitcoin is obviously a digital asset, it's not physical. But when you think about so Coin and Tesla are sort of like the future of AI and of financial rails. So the two kind of things there. Bitcoin, NVIDIA, and Apple you can think of as scarce. And the reason they're scarce is, NVIDIA is kind of the only good provider of GPUs and compute, right? And so and it's a very challenging, expensive thing to build. So they don't have a lot of competition. So they own that market. They also own what developers do around compute. They own that as well. So they have a bit of a moat. And so there's no one that can really compete there. So almost NVIDIA and its GPUs are scarce, is the way that I think about it. And so in an abundant world of AI, NVIDIA gives you scarcity, just like Bitcoin. That's the whole selling point of Bitcoin. There's 21 million of them. You cannot make any more. They are hard to mine. It is a physical thing. You need a lot of energy and infrastructure, these big mining centers to actually mine that stuff. And so Bitcoin is very scarce. Apple, you can sort of think as a scarce thing as well because it's hardware, right? No one can just go create another phone and just compete with Apple. It's a very, very challenging thing to do. Like people do it all the time, but they don't succeed. So Apple has a moat around its hardware devices. People use them every single day. It can start to integrate things. We've talked about this a bunch with AI and things like that. It can add better products into it, and it's hard for anyone else to compete on that distribution. So it's kind of a scarce asset as well. And so that's my plays on Bitcoin, NVIDIA, and Apple is the way that I think about that there.
Why there's no other Mag 7 companies in here, Kyle? Why exclude the Amazons, Microsofts, Metas, and Googles of the world?
So I held Google last year and Amazon as well. And then their CapEx went so big, and I was like, okay, the market's not going to like this. I'm just going to get out of those things for now. There's a world where I come back into those in the future. But I think we talked about this last week. They're just spending so much that they've stopped their buybacks because they don't have any more profit. I mean, they have profit, but they're using it all to build out more data centers, which in the end is the right thing to do. And I'm very bullish on that. So I do think, and Google also has a lot of distribution. So does Amazon. So like those are two companies that I remain bullish on. I just more in the short term right now, at least for probably this half of the year, let's call it. I don't really want to hold them, but I would imagine I will be buying into them in the, at some point this year. I am very bullish on Amazon and Google specifically. Meta, kind of an unknown. I don't know what's going on over there, so I don't buy that yet. We've talked about the glasses and things. They do have kind of a lead on that. So there's a world where Meta does do well. Obviously, they've got tons of data, tons of capital, tons of users. So like I don't think they're necessarily a bad hold. The market doesn't like it right now, and I don't think that's going to change yet.
Mm-hmm. Did you mention Microsoft in there?
No, I never look at Microsoft. I'm not touching Copilot's trash and all the other products there were trash.
Aren't they using Claude? I'm pretty sure Microsoft announced they're using Claude as some kind of integration for Copilot. So at least they're using a different AI. But yeah,
and honestly, it's probably not a bad company. I just don't really look into it because I don't really care. I don't use their products. Whereas I use Google, I use Amazon, right? I use Meta. And so those are, I like to invest in things that I use. I'm never going to use Microsoft, I don't think. So I just don't care. Last product I used that they had was Skype, and I think that's shut down now. So
that is old, man. That's dating ourselves. What else in here? There's other crypto assets, and we're more than welcome to tell us about them because we do want to know what's in your crypto portfolio. This is an AI show, though. So is there anything else in here that we should look at from the AI perspective?
So yeah, there's a few here. So one is TAN down at the bottom. That's an ETF for solar panels. And we've talked a bunch about this, but I think solar, especially in the US and other parts of the world as well, are going to just significantly grow. It has to grow very, very fast here. It's the only way that we can get enough energy to power all the data centers and things that are needed to run the compute for all the AI. Not to mention just in general for homes, et cetera, electricity is getting very expensive. And so renewable energy really helps here. China has, I don't know if you guys have seen this chart on Twitter. I wish I had it right now, but China's production of solar panels and use of solar panels has just gone so through the roof over the last 10 years and grown way more than the rest of the world in total. And so the rest of the world is now starting to catch up to that. And so I think there is a bit of a bottleneck in terms of solar. Look, I think there are other energy sources that will obviously exist here too, but I think nuclear will be a big one, but that's down the road. And so I think solar is the solution now for the next few years. And so I think I haven't really found what's the specific company I want to invest in. And so I just took a general approach on buying the ETF. It won't have the highest reward as a result of that, but risk reward is really good. And it'll just kind of look at the entire market and grow. So it's a long-term hold on solar, which I think will do well over the next coming years. There's two others. Well, a bunch of these actually do apply to AI as well, because honestly, everything in crypto does too, which I'll explain that thesis in a second. Sure. But GLXY is one that's very specific to AI. For those that don't know, GLXY Digital, we've talked about it a bunch in Milk Road Pro. This is started as a crypto company, and it is more of your Goldman Sachs, but for crypto is the way to think about it. So they have their hands in everything going on in the crypto space, whether it's funding companies, they're doing borrow and lending, custody, they're doing a billion different things for institutions mainly. So they have a huge business there that is successful. It's been beaten down right now because crypto has been beaten down, of course. Then they also had a company called was it Helios, that was a Bitcoin miner that's transitioned into now being a data center for AI. And they've continuously grown that. And now they have some very, very large amounts of space and GPUs and power that they can provide to these data centers. So they become almost like a hyperscaler. They're working with CoreWeave, and then they've got more space, more power coming online. And so that's all happening and really coming online this year, where they're actually finally generate revenue from it. So they are kind of a combo of, and actually the cleanest company, I would say, for a combo of AI exposure and crypto exposure. But it's been beaten down a lot because of crypto. And so the AI side of their business is not priced like other AI businesses are that are similar. So I think so long as crypto bounces back, and the world starts to understand what that company is, it's going to do extremely well. So I really love that opportunity. And then the last one I would say that's very specific to AI is Robinhood. And I say that for multiple reasons. One, as AI has flourished, more and more people are trading AI stocks. Best place to do that is on Robinhood, right? Or one of the best places to do that. So it dominates there. Whenever there's a risk on time in the world, Robinhood does extremely, extremely well. But the other thing is Robinhood's entire business is AI driven. So they've got AI products, right? Like they've got like AI portfolio managers that you can speak to, but then they also use AI in the background of their company to make everything they do really efficient. We talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago about financial companies using AI and using blockchain rails to kind of hollow out their company. Robinhood is doing this at scale and probably better than anyone. Robinhood and Coinbase. It's why I like both of these. So
Mhm.
Robinhood is ahead on the AI side. They're doing a ton of AI stuff in the background, and they are starting to integrate blockchain. They've launched their own chain, Robinhood chain. Robinhood already mentioned Vlad, their CEO. We had him on the podcast. He mentioned that anytime they do anything to do with blockchain, it's 10 times more, 10 times cheaper or 10 times more profitable, I guess is the way he worded it, than doing something on TradFi rails. So every time they start to move more and more things on chain rather than off chain, the existing business that they have, the existing products they have become 10 times more profitable. And so you combine that with using AI to make a lot of this happen, and that company's just accelerating extremely, extremely fast pace. Now it struggles in risk off moments like right now, but it will do extremely well in a risk on moment, which hopefully we will get to at some point. We need oil to relax, but that's your idea there. So it is more of just a world of we are financializing the world. More and more things are being financialized. You think prediction markets, right? And we're kind of have this thesis of like the Everything financial app. So right now we do a lot of things in finance, and they're all on different apps, right? We do like our banking in one thing. We have our credit card over here. We do our trading of crypto over here. We do our trading of stocks over here. Then we have prediction markets. We do sports betting. We have like 10 different apps that we have to put money into to do things. What Robinhood and Coinbase are doing is saying, hey, just do all that in one place, and it's all going to be on chain. And AI is what we're going to use to make it all work and function better. So you're going to end up, and you're seeing it with Robinhood today, it's just like you'll just do all of your financial stuff in these apps instead of in a bunch of different apps. And so we're sort of aggregating it all. And so that's my bet with Robinhood and Coinbase is that those are going to be the two winners of that whole idea there.
I like that. We've talked a lot across all our channels about the super app thesis, and a lot of our researchers and analysts have discussed this in different ways. So I like that. Kyle, in times like these, last week we did almost an entire episode about the oil scare, right? And this week that's still playing out. The conflict is still going on. The strait is still closed. Oil is slowly climbing. Are you tempted in times like these to de-risk a portfolio, despite it being potentially a short-term move?
Yes, I have been tempted a bunch. I have not sold any. I do, if you scroll down a little bit, I also hold a little bit of cash. So if you scroll down,
Yep.
SUSDS, for those that don't know, is a yield generating stablecoin. And so it's essentially cash, except you can earn right now it's 3.75% on it. And so I don't really hold much in just plain dollars and vanilla dollars. I would hold it always in this. So that you can always get a good, strong, resilient, diversified yield. It's not like a algorithmic stablecoin like Terra Luna was that collapsed. For those of you who heard of that years ago, it is a bunch of real world assets. So yield from treasuries, yield from mortgages, yields from different things that are supplying this yield. So it is a very good yield. So I hold that cash there. So if we had another crash, or if oil continues to get worse, then I have some capital to deploy, which is ready to go. That's the reason why I didn't take anything off the table yet here. But we'll see. Right now, last time we chatted last week, I think oil, went to that 120, and I think we were chatting on the day that it went back down to like in the 80s. I'm like, okay, maybe we're safe. It's back up in the high 90s now. I think as we speak, it's probably, let me just check here, 98.5. So it's getting back to a scary zone. We'll see what happens. But if that continues, then yeah, I might take some risk off the table. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll have to see where things go. It's a pretty red day today in the market as we speak, LG. But we'll see. Right now, I feel not too worried, but I'm being optimistic that we'll get this whole thing figured out, but I don't know. If you look at oil, it just looks so overbought that it's got to pull back a bit, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not if this war just continues. So anyway.
Real estate is one of the world's largest asset classes, $300 trillion plus. But buying it, that's a nightmare. Brokers, paperwork, massive down payments, and your money's locked up for years. What if you could trade real estate the same way you trade stocks? That's Shareland, a platform where you can trade US housing markets instantly, starting from just $1. We're not talking boring national indexes here. Shareland lets you trade at the neighborhood level. Think you know which zip codes are about to pop? Now you can actually put money on it. And then there's Tycoon, Shareland's AI agent that monitors housing markets, builds investment strategies, and can even execute trades on your behalf. It's not a chatbot. It's a real estate analyst that never sleeps. Explore the Shareland exchange at milkroad.com/Shareland. The way we build wealth is changing. Stocks, savings accounts, real estate, that playbook is getting rewritten in real time. Nexo is the platform built for what's next. It's an all-in-one digital wealth platform where you can earn interest on your crypto, borrow against it without selling, and trade a wide range of assets. All in one place with 24/7 support and institutional-grade security. Oh, and by the way, Nexo is back in the US with new US clients getting 30 days of Wealth Club Premier access. That means elevated interest rates, lower borrowing costs, and crypto cashback on trades. Benefits usually reserved for loyalty program members. Get started at milkroad.com/Nexo. Kyle, there is somebody at Milk Road who did make a move based on that. And I'm not going to say much more, but that is also just to plug this new part of our product, this massive upgrade on our portfolio product. Martin did make a move based on this, and as actually kind of a based on.
You said you weren't going to say who. You said,
well, sorry, I didn't say. I'm not going to say what. I won't say what. I'll say who, but I won't say what. But it's a pretty significant move, and it came in like the middle of the night for us. So I woke up to like a million notifications in the Discord of all these moves. I won't say what they were, but this was also based on something that Thomas, our macro writer, also wrote about over the weekend, and that was information that was just in our Discord, just for the pro members. But there have been big moves made there. And for portfolios, just so you guys understand, like we just spent 20 minutes talking about Kyle's portfolio. There are 4 other portfolios to look at in Milk Road Pro. So you can see Martin's portfolio. We have Vincent and Melvin, who are our AI guys. They are our AI experts that write the newsletters and the pro reports. They have portfolios in here. So, Kyle, you guys are definitely listening to this and be like, man, Kyle really loves crypto. He's got a crypto bias. There are 2 portfolios in this that do not have a crypto bias. They can barely even stand crypto. They're all AI. Melvin has had some great calls in his port in the last couple of weeks as well. So definitely something that you guys want to check out in this.
And if you scroll down, there's just for an explanation too. So the ones I didn't mention yet is ETH. It's called wrapped staked ETH, which is just basically getting it's staked ETH. So it's getting yield on it. And then there's Sky, AAVE, SBET. These all, and we won't get too in depth of them, but as you think about AI starting to manage finances, it's going to do it, as I mentioned, on blockchains, not on traditional finance rails. And so I think the users of crypto, up until this point have been humans. The users moving forward that it's focused on is AI agents. And I think Ethereum, Sky, AAVE, these are some of the best protocols in the entire space. And they are the most robust ones. These are the ones that, the institutions will use as they come into crypto. We're starting to get really good regulation. We had some big news yesterday in the crypto space with the SEC and the CFTC. So institutions will come in and they will use these protocols, which is why I own them. But so will AI agents as we start to tap into that. And so these, even crypto at this point is an AI play. Everything should be, right? Like if you're building a company, you want to be building it for AI at this point, because that's what everyone is using. That's what everyone's using to research. That's what everyone's using to complete tasks. And so I think blockchain is now becoming an AI trade, which is quite interesting. I don't know that a lot of people are explaining it that way, but I do think if you are really into AI and you understand AI agents, you need to understand blockchain, because that is the solution. It's kind of like robotics only became valuable when we got AI. Right? Like robotics has always been valuable, don't get me wrong, but like it becomes super powered valuable when you can put an AI brain into it. The same is true with blockchain. It's like blockchain's useful, is a hell of a lot more useful when you have AIs using it. So it's a good kind of mindset or mind frame to understand that.
It's a complex product in a sense, blockchain. And it's going to be a lot easier when it's just AI mainly using it. And maybe that was always the end goal for crypto, Kyle, is that maybe it's always been an AI product that we've been developing and training in a way.
Well, blockchain is just an efficient way to form capital. That's all it is, right? Everyone thinks about it, these random different things, but it's capital formation. And no one's going to be better at capital formation than AI. And so, of course, AI is going to use the best tools it can get, which is blockchain. So the connection there is very, very clear.
Okay, guys, we're going to remove the portfolio preview. It's going to be gone in 3, 2, 1. And listen, if Kyle does make a move based on oil or anything else, any other companies he wants to add, maybe he will add Microsoft. You never know. You're going to have to be in pro. And also, I think the other thing people have to understand about this too is like, if people want to ask you questions directly about this, they can be in Milk Road Pro. Like, just be in the Discord and you can literally tag Kyle anytime you want to ask him questions about these things or about other companies that you like or other cryptos or whatever. And Kyle, you respond every day. You're online all the time. So, this is something, and you can ask any of our experts and analysts any of these types of questions. I think that's also a huge part of the value.
Yeah. And the moment we make a trade, you get a notification so you can see anytime that we are buying or selling. And even before we do, we'll share investment ideas and thoughts. So if you're looking to navigate the market, I don't think that there's a better place than to be in Milk Road Pro. LG, can they get a trial right now, or isn't there an offer?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Yes, of course. So right now, just for this coming week, so from today, whenever you're listening, until March 24th, I think, and that's roughly the dates. The link is below. So if you're listening to this on YouTube or Spotify or wherever, just go in the description. That'll be the first link. But basically, since this is like a massive upgrade to the product, right? It's something very new that maybe our longtime listeners, readers, everybody, maybe they've been curious about Pro. They're not sure if it's for them. This is totally new. So we want you guys to come look at it, and we're offering it just for $1. So for 14 days, you sign up now, you pay $1 and you have it for literally 2 weeks. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of different reports and maybe some moves in that time. And we want you guys to come in and just look at it. It's basically free for $1, right? But we just want you guys to come and look. We just want you to look, right? And then you can decide if you like this. I think you will. I think it's pretty awesome. Even for me, it's been awesome to see what all you different guys think about your portfolios and how you approach it and all your different, strategies, let's call it. And especially right now, Kyle, like this is such an insane time. This is such like a crucial moment in terms of like what's actually going to happen this year and beyond, right? Because if oil does keep going up, man, like that's good. I feel like we'll see some pretty big changes in the portfolios.
Yeah, 100%.
Another thing that I think is worth pointing out, Kyle, too, and we can circle back to Tesla. We did an episode last month about Tesla. You told us your entire bull case on Tesla. It's kind of back in the spotlight this week for a few different reasons. Travis Kalanick, the founder of Uber, formerly at Uber, he came out last week with his company Atoms out of stealth. But he also did an interview where he said, like, listen, Tesla is so well positioned to dominate the FSD world, right? That is just like they have the full stack. And obviously this guy knows that world better than anybody. And I think to kind of complement that, I don't think he meant to do this. Vincent, who is our AI researcher, our expert, he actually wrote an entire pro report that will be up on our Milk Road Pro website anytime soon. It should be up in the next day or two, but basically detailing how the FSD boom is actually going to impact not just Tesla and Uber and other companies like Google who own Waymo, but also other parts of infrastructure in the economy. So what he kind of gives in this report, Kyle, and everybody listening, is not just here's the main companies that are well positioned, the Mag 7 and all that, but also that he's painting a picture where it goes way beyond taxis, that in this world where you, Kyle, you've said this many times that you're happy to rent out your Tesla for it to go drive people around while you're working all day or you're on vacation or whatever. He's saying that shift is going to basically reshape real estate and jobs and logistics and insurance and all these other sectors we haven't really thought about, because we think about it in such basic terms that like there'll be a autonomous taxi that picks you up, takes you to the airport. That's it. But once that happens at scale, so many other things will change. And that's really
the easiest way to understand this is if we have self-driving vehicles, there's no need for parking lots because it would never make sense to have a car parked, right? And so parking lots go away, which is great. We turn them into parks or more real estate. I don't know, right? But if you think about the amount of parking lots that are in downtown in a city, we don't need those anymore, right? Think about like a sporting venue, right? Like the huge arena with miles of parking lots around it. Those no longer needed, right? And so what do those become? How does that work? What is that now, right? So it's a big change. And then you also just think about like transportation for everything, right? Every good that exists. Like I think there's millions of truck drivers around the world, or just in the US, and those will become autonomous. And then what, right? Like you think about Amazon deliveries. I was saying the other day that like everywhere we go, I see an Amazon Prime van or truck somewhere. They're just everywhere in every country. Those will all no longer need to be a human, and they'll just be driving 24/7, right? And so you can imagine how much stuff will change. Insurance, right? If you have self-driving cars, do you need insurance anymore? Or is insurance just free at this point? There was already a company, what was the name of them? Can't remember the name, but in the US that said once Tesla has unsupervised fully self-driving, we will cut insurance in half for those that use it. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing, right? So a lot of things change when there's also like Tesla or these cars that have self-driving, they become like if you're sitting in that car and you're going somewhere for 2 hours, but you don't need to drive, but they have these big screens, it's almost like a new device, right? Are they going to have games in there? They're going to have their own apps. Is Tesla going to have its own new app store, right? So it's like there's a lot of things that are going to come as a result of this because it's going to just completely change the way transportation works. And our world is built for human drivers. As that
Oh my
changes,
God, yeah.
everything is going to be different. So it's a weird thing to think through, but it is a good thing to plan for, which I think is what Vincent wrote, a bunch of companies
Yeah.
that you can like potentially invest in as this unfolds. Now this is a 5, 10 year long process, right? It's a big thing. It's not changing tomorrow, but it's definitely something you want to be aware of.
And I think a good way maybe to look at this, Kyle, maybe a parallel is that, a couple years ago, it was an obvious time or a potential time to start buying these big AI stocks, right? And now the narrative is more picks and shovels. That now the narrative is memory, energy bottlenecks, and there are still a lot of good picks in that, and a lot of our analysts have that in their portfolios. But it's something that I think a lot of investors are like, man, I wish I'd thought of that. Like I knew AI was growing, but I hadn't really thought about the downstream effects and where the bottlenecks would be. And I think that this report does a great job of that. It's like, yes, there are the Ubers and the NVIDIAs and the Teslas, but there's 4 or 5 other companies in here that Vincent mentions that are things like, okay, if you think like who is going to be a really good EV infrastructure provider? What are the companies that work on that make those things? What the public charging networks, that kind of stuff.
The one he talked about a bit is interesting is thinking about Uber. Everyone thinks, and we've talked about it, Uber is going to get crushed here, right? Because of course, if Tesla can launch a robotaxi network that has no drivers, and you don't need to fill up the cars with gas, then it's going to be so much cheaper. It already is. I think it's like 10x cheaper than an Uber. Uber's cooked, right? And Uber doesn't have the ability to do what Tesla's doing. And so, what happens to Uber in that world? It's interesting, and I don't know. Like, I don't see a good opportunity for Uber yet. However, there is a world where something like what Waymo is doing, which is like using LiDAR, and there's other companies that are doing this as well. So basically like strapping on fully self-driving capabilities onto existing cars. If that becomes cheap and easy enough to do, well then, Uber already has millions and millions of drivers and cars. If the Uber drivers can just say, hey, it's 10 grand, I strap on these things and boom, my car drives itself, and it works great, then Uber's got a chance still, right? And so I don't know if that will happen. Right now, the tech does not exist, but there's some working on it, right? Like Waymo's one of them, but it's like 130 grand or something for the tech. So like that's not scalable. There's some other ones like Luminar and a few other companies that Vincent talks about, which like they could get there, but then they'll need a breakthrough. They're definitely not as close as Tesla. So I don't know if I'm bullish on Uber per se. They definitely have a lot of users, right? They've got the network, and so there's something there. Whether they get bought by Tesla or they get bought by Waymo or they partner with Waymo or maybe a Chinese company. I don't know what's going to happen there, but something big is going to happen in that world in the next year, I think, because the FSD is going to change a lot. I think that's coming this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
And I think that's the way I see some of these reports is a lot of these companies he mentions in here are like watch list companies. And it's something like you're saying, it's like, if you're watching the space and you want to know where you may want to invest in the future as these developments kind of shape out, I think that this is a really great starting point basically on that, because outside of just plowing into Tesla like you have, Kyle, there's other plays out there I think that you could heavily consider. Kyle, well, I mean, this has been great. I do have one little burn for you at the end. Okay, one little thing that I want to ask you if it would make you change a position in your portfolio. All right, and this is a crypto PR issue. Yesterday, this image came out in Vanity Fair. There's like almost like a crypto hit piece. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see this, Kyle? Do you know what this is?
I saw the picture. I didn't really understand the relevance of the picture, but I definitely saw this.
So Vanity Fair put out this, like, here are the crypto cool people leading the revolution. And it has a few random people in there. Kathy Wood's there. And ARK obviously talks a lot about AI and crypto as well. But Mike Novogratz is right in the middle here in the red suit. And he is not only the CEO and founder of Galaxy, he also had a Luna tattoo, Kyle. He had a Luna tattoo that collapsed, which is very odd to me. Does weird PR decisions like this, does this make you question what's going on and maybe your Galaxy investment?
I don't really know why this was even a big deal. It's an image. I didn't understand it. I never really looked at it. So no, I could care less.
Okay.
Very smart people in here. Meltem on the right, which is the girl in the like cheetah or whatever. She's extremely smart, good investor. The guy, I can't remember his name beside her though, was the second employee at Coinbase. And then he started a fund. Can't remember his name right now, but the other guy works for Ethereum. So some smart people in there. Weird picture though.
The OpenSea guy is a little strange, yeah. All right, yeah, I know. Maybe we could do a photo like that from Milk Road one day. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. I think maybe if we want to see all our analysts and our whole team dressed up in this kind of cool way. All right, just need to ask, Kyle. It's been a pleasure as usual. Thank you for bearing all today. I think that's it's not easy to do that. I'm really excited for our new product. I think it's been great to see behind the scenes already the last couple weeks, and our community, our pro community, has been really excited about it so far. And we want all you guys, all the listeners, to come in and check it out.
And for those watching, feel free to, in the comments to, break down my portfolio, tear me apart, whatever you think. Obviously, it's a very risk-on portfolio, but that's the style that I have. But and so feel free to tell me what I should be adding or not adding. Also, every month we add money to it, kind of like a dollar cost average to mimic what all of our users do. Right? Everyone gets paid every month, and so they're typically putting a bit of their profit into assets and investing every month. At least you should be if you're not. And so we mimic that with these portfolios by adding a small amount to each portfolio. And so the first week of every month, you'll see, well, we don't always allocate it, but you'll see us allocate to certain assets on what we're looking at. Sometimes we'll just leave it as cash. Depends on what's going on in the market, of course.
Well, I can't wait to see what that looks like in the coming weeks. Thank you, Kyle. Good to see you, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Want to stay ahead of the biggest technological shift in history? Subscribe now to get insights straight from the sharpest minds in tech and finance. Quickly, you'll note this show's for educational purposes only. Nothing here is financial advice. Investing always carries risk. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one.